dangerous lesson of all too. The male ego is the most sensitive and most dangerous thing the world has to offer.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I was very
Just say that
she
again one more
checks
time. Say that
the
one more
male
time.
ego is the most sensitive and dangerous thing in the world. Kind of that notion about males, don't cry, they don't have emotion, they just deal with
Yeah.
everything internally.
Hello everyone, it's Queen B and I'm back to you with another video. This video pertains to the unfortunate unaliving of 20-year-old Jimoy Janay Suckoo, who unfortunately lost her life on January 12, 2025. Before I begin, I would like to send my condolences and support to the Suckoo family and loved ones that are in the grieving process. According to reports, Jimoy and her 28-year-old officer boyfriend were at the Hotel Versailles in Mapen, Clarendon, when she received a wound to her chest from her officer boyfriend's service weapon. The officer initially told authorities that he had placed the weapon on the bed his girlfriend was laying on. His back was turned. Then he heard a loud explosion, and when he looked around, he saw that she'd been touched in her chest. Then at the Mapen police station, the officer stated another version of the incident, in which he stated he decided to get something to eat and was removing his weapon from his leg holster in order to secure it when the weapon slipped from his hand. In attempting to catch the weapon, the officer stated he accidentally triggered the weapon, which discharged a round in the chamber. According to Jimoy Suckoo's mother, Nadine Suckoo stated when she went to identify her daughter's body, she noticed a gunshot to her face right between her nose and her upper lip. In addition, Mrs. Suckoo is waiting on how her daughter was unalived. In addition, questions about her phone. According to Mrs. Suckoo, Janay had two iPhones, but only one has been retrieved by officers. The other phone is active on social media. We want that phone, she demanded. Since the unfortunate incident, Indicom has launched an investigation to ascertain the full circumstances and actions taken which resulted in the weapon being fired. Indicom would further state that the concerned officer's weapon was recovered and he provided an initial account to the Indicom investigative team, it said in a release. The incident scene was examined and the material recovered was processed and packaged. The hands of the victim, as well as the officer involved, were swabbed for gunshot residue. In addition, the officer involved was served with a Section 21 notice pursuant to the Independent Commission of Investigations Act to submit a statement, and an interview will be scheduled. In addition, the JCF is fully cooperating with Indicom to ensure a transparent and accountable investigation. Initial reports indicate that the officer involved has provided a statement outlining the circumstances surrounding this unfortunate event. As the investigation unfolds, the JCF remains committed to upholding the highest standards of professionalism, acknowledging the profound impact of this tragedy on Miss Soku's family and the community. The force extends its heartfelt condolences to her loved ones during this difficult time. Now you will watch this news clip and I will be back with my commentary.
Accidental discharge from the firearm of her cop boyfriend are demanding answers this evening.
The 19-year-old left her Westmoreland home to visit her boyfriend at a hotel in Mape and Clarendon, where the incident happened on Sunday.
Kimberly Petty has the details.
Nadine Suckoo on the death of her 19-year-old daughter, Jimoy Suckoo. The deceased was fatally shot at a Mapen hotel on Sunday night, where she and a policeman were guests. There are conflicting reports on the incident, as is understood. The policeman gave conflicting accounts of how his firearm discharged while they were in the room. The deceased woman's mother, who resides in St. Elizabeth, told TVJ News that she was unaware the policeman in question was her daughter's boyfriend. She explained she'd only spoken to him twice on video call. She says initially she was told by the police that her daughter received one shot. However, when she got to the morgue to identify her body,
this look like a cover-up because they tell me say a one shot she get. Miss Kimberly, and when we go identify her body, last night, me see she get one shot in her face above, between the end point her nose and the top lip.
Ms. Suckoo says what is also puzzling is that her daughter has two iPhones, but only one was recovered. The distraught mother says her daughter's other phone went online after her death. The deceased woman's sister, Rasheen Blake, is also questioning the circumstances that led to her sister's death. She too only met the cop via a video call.
No, I don't think it's an accident.
What are you thinking?
Because my sister get two shot, so me not think a accident. Me wouldn't think a accident that if my sister get two shot. First of all, if gun go off, where holster they? Gun alone the pan bed, how that work? Him put on gun and gun go off and my sister get two shot. My sister naked, then go find my sister naked, I believe. My sister get two shot. So how that?
Miss Blake says her sister had only introduced the policeman to her as a friend and that they met 4 months ago. She says she had no prior knowledge that her sister was heading to Clarendon to visit him.
We want investigation, of course, because he must say an incident. It's not no incident. It couldn't be no incident. Couldn't be an incident. I believe it's no incident. And we want deeper investigation into this.
The mother made this appeal.
I'm calling on the DPP, I'm calling on the JCF, I'm calling on the Prime Minister, I'm calling on the entire Jamaica. Everybody, Indicom, every single body. My daughter was murdered cold-blooded. And I need justice, a 19-year-old justice. I need to know what happened. I need to know everything. I need to know every unanswered question.
Meanwhile, Indicom is investigating the matter. In a press release, Indicom stated that the concerned officer was served with a notice to submit a statement and an interview will be scheduled. Kimberly.
I cannot begin to imagine the pain and grief for the Suckoo family, loved ones, and community members that knew this young lady. The fact that Miss Suckoo went to meet with her boyfriend at another location only to be unalived, and yet his picture is not officially released. That's red flag number 1. Red flag number 2. Why hasn't this person been charged yet? Though I know that authorities are doing their investigation, one facts remain the same. Jimoy Janay Suckoo is no longer here, and her partner was the last person to be seen with her prior to her unfortunate unaliving. The inconsistencies of her partner, it is very troubling as to his accounts, which led up to Jimoy's unfortunate demise. The fact that he's coming up with conflicting stories, the fact that he cannot give authorities a straight answer, leads me to believe that there is more to the story. How did Miss Suckoo went from having one initial shot, and then by the time her mother sees her body, she has a second shot? The next thing that is bothering me is her second cell phone. Why weren't authorities unable to retrieve her second cell phone? This leads me to believe that her partner is withholding critical evidence from this case moving forward. And it is up to Indicom and JCF to retrieve her cell phone and do a search of his cell phone as well. This has similarities to that of the Donnelly Donaldson story, where the social media influencer's partner, Noel Maitland, who is not only an officer but a producer as well, has been charged with homicide and preventing the lawful burial of a corpse back in 2022. A readiness hearing is set to begin on January 24th, 2025, which will be to ensure that all witnesses' statements and other relevant material are in place, while the trial date is set for April 7th, 2025. As previously reported, back in the summer of 2022, Donnelly Donaldson was reportedly last seen with Maitland at his apartment. She was reported missing 2 days later. Since then, Maitland has been in custody since July 27th, 2022. Though Donnelly Donaldson's body has never been recovered, investigators theorized that she was unalived inside his apartment, then her body was later disposed. Prosecutors have stated that they have forensic evidence that establish bloodstains found inside the apartment that belonged to Donnelly Donaldson. Unfortunately, these cases are becoming a dangerous trend. According to the United Nations Population Fund, gender-based violence is a problem across the Caribbean region. Intimate partner violence, DVSA, among others, are the most common forms of gender-based violence. Studies conducted in Grenada, Guyana, Jamaica, Suriname, and Trinidad and Tobago indicate that between 27 to 40% of women reported to have experienced violence at the hands of their partners. These surveys also confirm that the persistence of risk of violence that women face in the home and the community is rooted in gender inequality. Inequitable gender norms support male dominance in intimate partner relationships. Over the past decade, efforts towards women empowerment and gender equality have also been undermined by the misguided notion of male marginalization in the region, resulting in pushback against interventions aimed at the empowerment of women and girls. There is a strong culture of silence and acceptance surrounding the topic of GBV in the Caribbean, and it is not uncommon for the blame to be placed on the survivor rather than the perpetrator, increasing the stigma surrounding the topic and presenting a barrier for survivors to access GBV response services. This is not only happening in the US of A, it's also happening internationally. We have a genuine problem in which persons feel that they have the authority to be judge, jury, and executioner of people's daughters, of people's siblings, of people's aunties and neighbors. We are in a true crisis in which our neighbors, our loved ones are suffering in silence. This needs to stop. When is enough enough? When are we in society, whether domestically or internationally, going to wake up and recognize that our girls, our sisters, our aunties, our mothers, our loved ones, they're in danger? This is not the time to turn the other cheek or be silent. It is up to us to change the behaviors and norms in which we treat violence against our community members. It is up to us to ensure that our loved ones are safe when they come to us in confidence when they are being harmed in silence. It is not up to us to place the victims and survivors into isolation when they tell their story. It is not our business to judge, as it is our responsibility to aid when needed. People are losing their lives on a daily basis because of silence. And I've also stated that there are persons out there who will court you, who will date you, who will even have children with you, but secretly envy you and envy the value that you bring to others around you. I want this story to be a reminder that this can happen to anyone at any time, regardless of educational background, class, and yes, even race. We are literally living in a crisis, and it's time for us to ring the alarm. Say their names, known and unknown. Kamisha Wright, Commander Smith, Charlie Smith, Raphaelia Smith, Keyshawn Henry Jr., Anika Silkiana Townsend, Donna Lee Donaldson, and Jimoy Janay Suckoo. If you see something, say something. Protect Black women. Say her name, Jimoy Janay Suckoo. Justice for Jimoy Janay Suckoo. And as always, please be safe out here, and I will see you in the next video.